Hello, it's April from April's Home, and tonight for dinner I am making turkey black bean enchiladas. So I thought I would go ahead and share with you how I make this very easy recipe. So to start with, you'll need a pound of turkey, ground turkey, and some Mexican style cheese and some flour tortillas. You'll also need some garlic powder, chopped onions, some seasoning salt, some cumin, some red enchilada sauce. This is from Las Palmas. This is one of my favorite brands for enchilada sauce. I love both their red and their green. Their green one is my favorite. But tonight I'm making standard enchiladas with the red sauce. You'll need a can of black beans. We'll go ahead and drain and rinse those. You'll need some pepper and some cooking spray for the pan that we'll be baking these in. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and get this in my pan browning. And I'll go ahead and get that started, and then I'll share with you how I add the spices. Okay, so I've got my turkey browning in my skillet here. Just going to keep kind of tossing that around a little bit and getting that all browned up. I started this out on high just to get it going, but I'll probably turn that down as it gets going here. And while I continue to let that cook, I'm going to go ahead now and add some of the seasonings. We'll start with our chopped onion. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of that. I'm going to go ahead and incorporate that before I add more spices. I like to add that at the beginning so it can kind of get reconstituted in there. Soften up. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some cumin, adding a little less than half of a teaspoon. You can add a little bit more if you want it a little more zesty. And I'll add my garlic powder. We'll also add half a teaspoon of that. And we'll just add a little bit of black pepper here, just add a little bit like that. And same with your seasoning salt. Since seasoning salt also has garlic in it, and we've already put garlic in, you don't need that much. I'm just going to sprinkle around a little bit like so, just to give it some extra flavor there. And then keep cooking this until it's completely cooked through and completely browned. So I'm going to go ahead now and keep cooking this up. I'll come back when this is thoroughly browned and cooked through and show you the next step. Okay, so my turkey is done cooking up, and I have drained and rinsed my black beans in this mesh strainer here. So I'm just going to add the black beans in, and I'm going to go ahead and stir those all together. So that's our mixture, and now we'll start assembling the enchiladas. So I've got my little pan here. This is like a bigger sized, this is a dripper pan. This is just one I like to cook in. You can use like a lasagna sized pan for this. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a spray with the cooking spray. And I'm going to take just about a quarter of this, maybe even a little bit less, and just put a bit of the enchilada sauce on the bottom of this pan here. Just like so, and kind of spread it around here. I've got a little spoon just to spread it around. I've got out a plate here, as well as my cheese and my flour tortillas. So we'll start with a flour tortilla here, and then I've got a spoon, kind of like a big serving spoon here. And in the center, I'll just put some of the turkey and black bean mixture. Just like so. And I don't like to use a ton of cheese inside, but just enough to kind of bind it all together. Just a little bit of cheese, and you can add more or less depending on what you'd like. And then you can wrap it. There's a few ways to wrap it. I am not very good at wrapping burritos and enchiladas. Some people just wrap it and roll it like this. I do like to close my ends. So let's see if I can try this here. Now, I've been shown again many times how to fold these and do this lovely fold, but I can never seem to get it. So just kind of tuck this sides in. Maybe do it one more time, kind of holding the insides in there until it's a little packet, just like that. And then I will go ahead and place this in my pan here. It takes up about half the pan, maybe a little bit more than half. So now I'll go ahead and assemble the rest. Again, just a flour tortilla, the filling, cheese, And then we'll wrap this one up as well. And then set this one right next to it. So I'm going to go ahead now and make up the rest of them and fill up my pan here, and I'll come back to show you the next step. Okay, so I've got all of my enchiladas all made up, full of the turkey black bean filling and a little bit of cheese. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of my Las Palmas enchilada sauce and pour it over the top evenly so that all of the enchiladas get covered in sauce. I have a little spoon set off to the side. At the end, I'll make sure that the sauce is spreading all over the top of each one here. So if it didn't get all the way to the end, sometimes I'll scoop out some from the bottom or the center like so, and just make sure that they're all covered. And now that they're all covered in enchilada sauce, I'm going to go ahead and give it a topping of cheese. Again, you can use as little or as much as you'd like. I didn't put much cheese in the middle, but I do like a little bit more on the top of these, just like so. And I've also preheated my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And as soon as I'm done covering these with cheese, I'm going to go ahead and cover this with foil and pop it in my 375 degree oven for about, probably half an hour, just to make sure everything is melted and the flavors all blend together. And the enchilada sauce has time to kind of soak in to the enchiladas. Okay, so that is all ready for some foil. I'll go ahead and do that now. So it's all covered and ready to go in the oven. I usually also, when I'm checking it after about 20-25 minutes, I'll pull off the foil and give it about 5 minutes in the oven to let the top kind of just crisp up just a little tiny bit. Not too much, because I don't like the cheese to be browned or anything like that. But that's what I'll do. So I'm going to go ahead now and get this in my 375 degree oven, and I'll come back to show you how it turned out. My enchiladas are out of the oven. I cooked them for about 30 minutes, and then again I took the foil off. I added a little bit more cheese to this side because when I removed the foil, some of it came off. But again, I let this sit without foil in the oven for an additional about 4 minutes to make sure the cheese was nice and melty. So now I'm going to go ahead and plate up our turkey enchiladas with some side dishes, and I'll come back to show you what our dinner looks like. So I have served up our dinner for tonight, our turkey and black bean enchilada with corn on the cob and some Mexican rice here, and I've served that with a dollop of sour cream. This recipe was super easy to make, and you can see it made a really big batch here. This is definitely enough for a couple dinners for my husband and myself, or tonight's dinner and a bunch of lunches. So definitely a wonderful way to stretch out your turkey. Make turkey black bean enchiladas. Definitely a yummy recipe, and you can serve it with some simple sides like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and try a bite. You can see the turkey and black beans there in the center. That was absolutely delicious. I'm excited for tonight's dinner. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this easy recipe for turkey black bean enchiladas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.